Welcome back to Venom, right here at Comicstorian. This is where we take a lot of your favorite comic books, video games, movies, break down the storylines into digestible bites, and allow you to catch up on them with your busy schedule. And today we're going to be covering Venom, Venom Island, issue 21 and 22. Now, when we last left off, Venom fought against Carnage in the Absolute Carnage event, and his son Dylan discovered that Eddie Brock is in fact his father. And that was where we left off with the storyline, and pretty much all you need to know so that we can start today, because they're going to explain it. Let's go. As Edward Brock stares at himself in the mirror, he thinks that it's only been a few weeks since the devil gave him a choice. Save his son or kill the world. He did what any father would have done, and maybe it's not what a hero would have done. The needs of the many and all. Either way, his son Dylan is still standing, and Null is still coming to take the universe. And all they can do is wait. As Eddie looks at his cleanly shaved face, Dylan knocks, stating that the car is here. He'd better hurry. Also, he looks weird without a beard. Not really liking it. Eddie asks if he's gonna stick to calling him Eddie. Has he given any thought to calling him, you know? Dylan walks out telling him that he's going to be late. This is important, right? Eddie sighs and Venom tells him, "It's going to be okay. Dylan just needs some time to get used to you being his dad." Eddie walks outside where a man is waiting by a car, and Eddie tells Dylan to take care of himself while he's gone. He'll be back later. Dylan tells him, "Yeah, good luck, Eddie." Eddie pauses for a moment and simply tells him, "Yeah, okay." Once Eddie gets into the car, he asks where exactly are they going, some super secret hideout but the driver just doesn't answer and tells him, "Please put on your seatbelt. We'll be lifting off shortly." Before Eddie has a chance to ask anything, the wheels on the car flip out and the car shoots into the sky. An hour later, over the Arctic Circle, Eddie looks down at the giant dead Celestial, and the driver says that he apologizes for the turbulence. They've arrived at their destination. Welcome to Avengers Mountain. Cap welcomes Eddie as they land, stating that he appreciates the visit. "There are a few things that I and the other Avengers would like to discuss with you." As the door opens up, Venom can feel Eddie panicking, and he tells him, "Calm down, just breathe." Eddie asks, "Do you guys want me as an Avenger?" And Cap says, "Maybe, maybe not. We're here to have a conversation, Eddie." Eddie looks at Thor and Venom says, "We know this one. He defeated Null in the ancient times. We need him as an ally for what is to." And Eddie stops him. "No, we don't deserve this." Thor offers his hand, telling him, "I've heard great things of the two of you. You've been through hell and stood valiant against the forces of Malekith and Carnage alike. I, for one, would be honored to have a warrior such as the two of you fighting alongside me." But before Eddie could shake his hand, there's another voice in his head screaming. A twisted, evil voice. A voice that shouts, "Kill him! Slit his throat open! See what God guts taste like!" Eddie asks, "Why would I?" And the voice tells him, "Do not shut me out! You don't get to shut me up! You think you can kill me?" Everyone sees Eddie pull away, and Thor asks, "Is something wrong? Are you unwell, Edward Brock?" Carnage screams inside of his head, "You killed Cletus!" And Eddie says, I'm fine. Think about it. It's been a rough time for me and Dylan." Venom asks, "Can you hear me? Where did he?" But then Carnage's laugh takes over Venom's voice. Cap tells him, "Of course, you've been through a lot. Here, take this card. If you need anything, just call us, Eddie. No questions asked." Eddie takes the card and he looks at Captain America, telling him, "Okay, yeah, thanks, guys." So later that night, as Eddie returns to Liz Allen's home, he opens up the door and heads straight for the bathroom. Dylan asks how did it all go, and Eddie passes right by him, slamming the door shut. He frantically digs through his bag, with Carnage asking, "Oh, what's the matter? This is what you wanted. You absorbed me into your mind. What the hell did you think was going to happen, Eddie?" Eddie begins to take a bottle of pills, and Venom shouts, "No, not the quiet pills. Please, we can fight this together, Eddie." He opens up the bottle and begins to pour several pills in, with Carnage shouting, "There's no fighting! You can't shut us out! Take all the pills that you want!" Eddie stumbles into his bedroom, telling Carnage to shut up. Just shut up! He falls into his bed, and he begins to feel as though he's fallen into a lake. A dark, black lake. He swims through, finding Dylan, and as he reaches out towards his son, he then sees Null. Null grabs a hold of Dylan, with Dylan shouting, "Dad!" Eddie screams as he wakes up, and as he leans up, he feels a wetness on the bed. He looks around to see blood all over it. He asks, what did he do? As he stands up, he looks in the mirror and sees the words, God is coming, carved into his back. He tells himself, no, not this time. I'm not going to let this evil inside me live. He writes a note for Dylan, giving him a kiss on the cheek, and then he heads outside to make a call. As the person answers, yeah, hey, Cap, no questions asked, right? So a short while later, Eddie is flying a Quinjet to the Isle des Husos, the island of bones. The island has been deserted since a mining disaster in the 40s, and people believed the place to be cursed. Maybe it is. But long ago, he kidnapped Spider-Man and he took him here. Spider-Man faked his own death, and him and Venom stayed here. They were free. But now that Carnage has returned, it's time to burn every atom of him off the face of the earth. Eddie grabs a parachute, but soon Venom begins to ask, can you hear me? We don't have time. You have to be careful. Carnage is... And that's when Carnage lunges out of Eddie into the Quinjet's controls, shouting, rise and shine! You want to kill me? Burn me? Good. Let's all burn Eddie. Soon, one of the engines explodes and Eddie goes tumbling out of the plane. As he plummets to the earth, he crawls out of the burning wreckage, with Venom shouting, wait! Carnage pulls away from Eddie, asking, was it worth it? Is this how you wanted to die? Crawling on your belly, begging for your life? Eddie begins to get back up, telling him, you took my other. I'm going to get him back. Carnage asks, oh, is that right, Papa? And what am I supposed to do? Cower in fear? Eddie tells him, no. I want you to run. As he pulls out the fire. As the fire is roaring behind him, Eddie runs away to a graveyard and begins to look around. He sees one of the grave markers and he begins to rip up the ground, revealing a heavy metal hatch underneath it. He jumps down thinking that he can't imagine the pain that his other is in, but he forces himself to think about it because hate is the fuel of war. These old weapons will help them win the war. Meanwhile, back at the States, Dylan finds himself dreaming, holding Eddie's hand. Voice asks why. Why did he keep it? He's trapping it in a cage, Dylan. Dylan looks up to see Null's face and Null tells him, show it. Show it. Dylan pulls his arm away, ripping Null's hand off, and Null tells him, show me. Dylan yells for his father as he wakes up screaming, and Normie asks if everything's all right. Who is the King in Black? He kept saying it in his dream. Dylan says that he doesn't know. He just doesn't know anything. And Normie tells him, all right, well, I'm gonna get some breakfast, buddy. Dylan gets up and he pulls out a small box from under his bed, and inside of it is a piece of Carnage. Back on the island, Eddie gears himself up. The weapons are old and rusted, but he still needs it to work. A flamethrower, and with it he'll put an end to Carnage once and for all. Once he's ready, Eddie winds up the old raid siren, knowing it'll attract Carnage and whatever the hell he took over when he fled. It'll be excruciating for them, but he'll be ready. As the crazed island animals all charge in, Eddie turns on the gas, creating a ring of fire around him, forcing the animals to go through it to get to him. He pulls back on his bow, stating, we should talk. If you don't want this to end with every living thing on this island dead, Carnage, we should talk, make a deal. Release my other. Release Venom, and you can have this island. No one will bother you. No one will know you're here. You'll be free. If not, then we all burn together. What do you say? We can go our separate. But at that moment, Carnage lashes out from underground, gripping Eddie's hand so he'll break the bow. His head appears and he asks, a deal? You must not have been paying attention. I will force you to dance to the song and slit the throat of every baby on Earth. There is nothing you can do about it, Eddie, because you wouldn't hurt your precious other. You wouldn't hurt Venom. Eddie tells him, you're right. That's why he's coming back. Eddie takes out his machete, cutting off the hand that Carnage is trying to infect. And there you have it, the conclusion. I want to do more of these in one sitting, but I'm not going to lie. Doing anything that involves Carnage, Venom, putting that pressure on my vocal cords, I keep blacking out. It's not even a joke. to get that all to sound differently as much as I can, because I'm still an amateur at doing very different voices, it takes a lot out of me. So we have to do these at 2 issues at a time so that I don't pass out trying to do this storyline. I hope you guys enjoyed this, though. The Return of Carnage, Venom Island. I hope you enjoyed all of it. Thank you so much for your support. If you do want to, please consider giving this video a like or subscribing to our channel, both of which will give us more of a reason to pump out more Venom in a hurry and get you ready for the eventual arrival of Null. I'll see you next time right here.